तिमिरन्धज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जगद्गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। Happy Vyasa Puja of Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We should celebrate more elaborately Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja than anybody else's, including mine. Can somebody make an arrangement like that?
It's in the ISKCON law.
It's an ISKCON law. So we can combine or make it a platform that Srila Prabhupada should be dominating in Vyas Puja that you are observing for me. Srila Prabhupada should have a very well, better organized, bigger than me, my size, Vyasasana and everything that is contained in, plus, his glorification should dominate. And it is important that because of him, everything is possible. So we should not override a spiritual master over Srila Prabhupada. All right? We will be better off in cultivating pure devotional service and disciplic succession like that. That is the logical approach. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasadan nagati gutopi. We bear torchlight, but Srila Prabhupada's Siksha torchlight is extremely important. If his Siksha was not there, how can a Diksha Guru be, carrying that torchlight? He is the main torchlight. And we are just inheriting little. So glorify Srila Prabhupada more than me, and that will be the very befitting performance of Vyas Puja together. It's not simultaneous or equation or no. If you cannot perform separate, then perform one Vyas Puja, but where Srila Prabhupada should be more prominent. Of course, Srila Prabhupada's presence is there, but it's small. It's very important that Prabhupada's altar or the everything that you put on the stage Prabhupada should dominate. I should sit at his lotus feet. Put me like that. That will be more congenial. Okay, so keep in mind, today is Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, and this is my request. We need to grow in fidelity to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada will bless us. Hare Krishna. So, Yukta Vairagya and Rupa Goswami's definition on Yukta Vairagya and Falgu Vairagya is understood. But most compelling meditation is that of Rupa Goswami, who, although a proponent of Yukta Vairagya, lived very simply, meeting only his most basic needs. Such an austerity, the Goswamis, have to undergo. It was just 535 years back. So you can imagine, if we are going in the one means the forest. At that time, it was all forest. There were no temples. Temples were raised by Turkish soldiers. And Ashokavardhan, he was against the temple Hinduism. He converted Hindus. He killed Hindus. And why do we have to glorify? He is no better than Muslims, even. So anything that is foreign, maybe it is devised by Lord Shri Krishna, because Krishna came as Buddha to punish us, to punish the corrupted society due to the influence of Kali. But that's not an excuse that they can be spared. They know Vedas, but they misuse the Vedas, abuse. Nintasi yagya vidheya hasruti jatam saday hriday darshita pashugatam. This is the only cause that he appeared. But he appeared at the expense of Vedic authority. He denied his own Vedas. So if Krishna can deny, we have to understand why he is denying us. He needs people of Kali Yuga to be punished more and more, because they are not listening to him. They are misinterpreting him. They want to do whimsical things in religious garb, but not falling in the religion. To religos means to connect with, to yoke with Krishna. They want to bar Krishna. They want to doubt about the personality of Krishna. So how are they going to do that? So we get the beacon, the light from Srimad Bhagavatam and the parampara that Srila Prabhupada brought, and we should value that at such an extent that there is no comparison. One cannot even compete with Krishna consciousness as the solution for the age of Kali. All right. So the Goswamis were living like a very old Satya Yuga type of ascetics. Kopina kantharito. They were simply wearing loin clothes, and the whole body was open. Don't you think the mosquitoes were there in the jungle of Vrindavan? Serpents were there. So many things were there. But they were so fearless because they were imbued in love of Godhead. So to deliver the poor conditioned souls, they accepted loincloths and become mendicants but they were always merged in ecstatic ocean of the gopis' love for Krishna, and they were always bathing repeatedly in the waves of that ocean. So the Goswamis approved of opulence for preaching, but because their preaching did not require it, their lifestyle displayed the inner mood of the pure devotees. One of the complete detachment, that is Nishkinchana, Nishkinchan, Naishamatim Tavat Urukramanggri Sprashyati na yadartham yadoktam mahiyasam yadi padarajopishekam nishkinchananam na vrinita janam. Goswamis are nishkinchan. Kichunahi amar, that is called nishkinchan. So we have to take the dust at the lotus feet of the Goswamis by taking the shelters of their instructions. That is as good as associating with Brajavasis. Thus, although devotees of our modern times need more facilities to preach and cannot live as our acharyas did, they should at least ameliorate their mood. Mood is free, but mood requires your willingness to follow. So like the desire for sense enjoyment, bhakti, the desire for liberation, mukti, must also go. In this regard, the standard of pure devotion set by Rupa Goswami is high, the highest. Not only should devotees free themselves from the desire for impersonal liberation, they should also free themselves from the desires of spiritual emancipation of any sort. Lord Kapila says, Salokya Sashti Samipya Sarupya Ekatan Api Uta Diyamanam na grahananti vina mat sevanam janaha. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. Salokya, Sashti, Samipya, Sarupya, or Ekatva. Even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 29th chapter, 13th verse. In other
Na, tovaj.
In other words, pure devotees have only one motive to please Krishna. They do not want to live on the same planet as Lord Salokya, to have the same opulence as the Lord Sarsti, and to be near the Lord Samipya, and to have bodily features like the Lord Sarupya. And the mere thought of becoming one with the Lord, either by merging into his effulgence, Sayujya, or into his personal form, Ekatva, is reprehensible. Of course, the devotees will accept one of the first 4 kinds of liberation if it pleases Krishna. This is said in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. If the Lord wants to award, then a devotee may take it just to please him. So that is in 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 55th and 57th verses. The devotees will accept one of the first 4 kinds of liberation if it pleases Krishna. Pure devotional service is so exalted that to please Krishna, devotees are willing to serve even in the world of birth and death. Lord Chaitanya speaks of this selfless mood of service in which the devotee's only request is for pure devotional service birth after birth. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhakti rahitu kitvai. Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. Sikshashtakam, number 4. Public Sankirtan, giving Krishna consciousness to others, is a classic example of devotional service free from the desire for reward. Devotees who dedicate themselves in such a service are, by Krishna's own admission, peerless. He says, Nacha tasmat manusheshu kaschinme priyakrittama. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he. In Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 69th verse. ISKCON devotees therefore perform Sankirtan for their own benefit and for the benefit of others. One blessing that accrues to devotees from such service is the spirit of Anyapilashita Shunyam. Selflessly disposed, a devotee thinks Sankirtan may be difficult. People may ridicule me, whether they be cold or rainy. My body and mind may protest, but Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, and Sri Krishna wants me to do this, and for their pleasure I shall. This is the kind of resolve. To go out and chant Hare Krishna and preach whenever the opportunity occurs, that is the best way to perform Anukulyena, Krishnanushilana. The voluntary acceptance of the difficulties that come naturally while pushing forward Krishna consciousness movement is the hallmark of Goshthianandis, the confidential associates of Lord Chaitanya who profusely distribute Krishna consciousness. These persons embody the true spirit of Jnana Anavritam, Jnana Anavritam. Such preachers, many spiritual organizations sometimes face open hostility and live in Kali's domain, the modern industrialist cities, yet they happily embrace these difficulties and more. In fact, their endurance of such struggle is their offering of love of divine couple. Radha and Krishna prefer these offerings to flowers, words, and sumptuous offering of food. This is Sankirtan movement. This is more anukulyena, anushilanam, than even putting offerings. Srila Prabhupada put Sankirtan devotees on such an exalted position, who go out boldly, preach, lay their lives even. So many of my godbrothers passed away while I was in Vrindavan in 1985 or so. Yes, I remember. There were 3 Sankirtan devotees, and they are all, one was my godbrother, and 2 were at that time Kirtanand Swami's disciples. In the month of January, very deep, winter is there. The outside temperature goes below -30, means even up to 35 degrees. It is damn freezing cold. So these 3 Sankirtan devotees were doing during daytime Sankirtan Yajna, book distribution, even paraphernalia distribution just to promote. But these devotees took rest in a Kmart open parking lot, and they had methane gas burner to keep themselves warm. They can't run the car heater all the time. But anyway, two of them died instantly the next morning because of carbon monoxide poisoning. And one a Black American devotee, African American devotee, he survived, but his leg was completely frozen and was supposed to be amputated. You can imagine my godbrother was at the wheel and he died within sitting posture of the wheel. Another was stretching, but he also died because he was in a passenger seat. The other boy was, near the door, the back door of the van. So he was getting little fresh air. So he survived, but his leg was completely frozen and it was supposed to be amputated. So anyway, these devotees laid their lives. There are many devotees who out of even Sankirtan, on Sankirtan, but die on the road by accident, or even they overwork. Generally, they were on just like soldiers. They may not get even proper sleep. One devotee, while driving the car, he felt asleep and crashed himself. So there are so many casualties. It's not a question of neglect, but they have still the zealousness. Of course, a supervisor should have given him little break. But out of overenthusiasm or out of even somebody's, pushing, just for the sake of Sankirtan, they risk their lives. So the idea is that Krishna becomes more attentive to them rather than the offerings with love that we are giving. Who is taking risk for myself? Krishna thinks, and these devotees are going out and preaching, making devotees, as well as distributing books of Srila Prabhupada. What it means that Krishna appreciates that more than the offerings of the daily by puja, that archana and offerings of bhoga and everything. This is standstill services, but that is highly mobile services. And the value of service also have the drawbacks of the risk that we have to take. But anyway, devotees are not afraid. They are still going out, but they may be more cautious not to fall victim again. So, and in any case, this is Radha Krishna prefers these offerings of flowers, words, and sumptuous offering of the food lesser than one who take risk of his life in preaching movement. The reluctance of spiritually immature bhajananandis, those who concentrate mostly on exclusively on their own spiritual advancement, to shoulder hardships for Lord Chaitanya's mission often hints at as an escapist mentality. Some of the Babajis are becoming Babajis, want to escape the active preaching, to travel and preach. No, either they are selfish, but Sankirtan movement, they are born in Sankirtan movement not to become Babajis. They are Bhajananandis. But we are Gosthyanandis. We can talk Krishna, we can eat even thoughts of Krishna. We can walk for service of Krishna. This is the engagement of the highest treasure, and it is way beyond, selfish mentality, escapist mentality of the Babajis. This trace of spiritual weakness hinders their advancement and must be cleansed in order for them to achieve pure devotional service. I do not know why people are attracted to the Babajis of Radhakund. It's simply because the significance of the place, but there is no matching significance of the faith, nor Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. So many people resides at Radhakund, and so many are still in litigation about the property situated in Radhakund. That is not the purpose of the establishing properties and make a real estate business in Radhakund, nor it is in Vrindavan. But yet you can see on the guise of devotee, reluctance to sacrifice their life for Krishna is there. What is the difference between the worldly engaged, big shots who also have some devotion for Lord Krishna, but it is not pure bhakti. Similarly, pure bhakti is based on the pleasure of Lord Shri Krishna, and especially to the one who takes the risk. Okay. Prabhupada said we should act in such a way that Krishna may come to see us rather than we have to see him. That is also Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. So he says, do such things that Krishna may come to see you. Do you think Krishna is going to come to see us by putting a very regulative, lethargic regulative, or active regulative devotional service? No, the preference is one who is taking risk, even because Kali Yuga is a risky time. And even against going to the norms of Kali Yuga, if somebody risks his life at the fag ends of his life, like Srila Prabhupada, Krishna was all the time with him, and he was comforting Srila Prabhupada whenever some difficult time arose. So that's okay. But that is beyond the what you call Jnana Karma Dana Vratam, but it's only solely depend upon Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. And Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam can be always measured on the order of spiritual master. On the order of spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada says, if I have any credit in establishing this worldwide movement, it's only that I'm trying to follow the instructions of my spiritual master. He told me that if I have money, print books. But this particular sentence, printing books, means, of course, distributing also. And the devotees who will read these books and then preach by distributing books, they will be doubly benefited. The books are not to be sold only on Kindle and Amazon.com and, no, they have to be distributed personally. A person knowledgeable of the content of the book is also empowered to preach and distribute. It brings in double victory for him. And Krishna is very pleased to such Sankirtan devotees. So, Lord Chaitanya, who profusely distributed Krishna consciousness, these persons embody the true spirit of Jnananavritam. Such preachers manage spiritual organizations, sometimes face upon hostility, and live in Kali's domain. The modern industrialized cities, yet they happily embrace these difficulties and more. In fact, their endurance of such struggles is their offering of love to the divine couple. And Radha and Krishna prefer these offerings to flowers, words, and sumptuous offerings of the food. The reluctance of spiritually immature bhajananandis, those who concentrate mostly on exclusively on their own spiritual advancement, to shoulder hardship for Lord Chaitanya's mission, often hints at an escapist mentalist. They do not want. They have a very comfortable house, at Radhakund. Escapist mentalist. This trace of spiritual weakness hinders their advancement and must be cleansed in order for them to achieve pure devotional service. The great Narada Muni provides a classic example. As a boy, Narad desired to search for the Lord in the forest, where he became attached to its tranquil atmosphere. Although Lord Narayan once revealed himself to the boy there, the Lord considered Narad's attachment to the forest mentality tinged an obstruction to pure devotion. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 6th chapter, 21st verse. Although the Lord Narayan once revealed himself to the boy there, the Lord considered Narad's attachment to the forest materially tinged and obstructed to pure devotion. Thus, Narad would not see the Lord again in that lifetime. From this example, devotees may ascertain that to become attached to the comforts afforded by the spiritual life is a detriment. Devotees accustomed to managing behind desk in comfortable offices, for instance, should keep alive the selfless spirit of pure devotion by regularly visiting the preaching fields to oversee how devotees are doing and stay with them in the discomfort for his house and office. This concludes the description of secondary characteristics of pure devotion called Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Devotees may still have traces of karma and jnana in their hearts as they cross the threshold of pure devotion. But they ignore such things. They aspire for pure character of the great devotees and engage the things of his world in the spirit of proper renunciation. Careful to avoid rejecting service when it is troublesome or accepting it to gain comfort. True Vaishnavas practice pure devotional service to rid themselves of the last vestiges of their inglorious past. Tyaktva turnamashesha mandalapatim. So, you can't simply sit on your fat butts on the positions that you have been given in ISKCON. Come out, inspire, show more strong conviction about Anyabhilashita Shanam Gan Karmadhanavratam. Many are abusing this positions as if they are Lord and Master. Or they think this is our zone. Our Guru has given us to manage, and we will see nobody can come. So this zonal comfort mentality is also not construing the pure devotional service on the basis of Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadhanavratam Anukullena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktiruttama. So we have to be very, very cautious. Otherwise, we find some difficulties. Of course, it can be eradicated. But following these instructions Shivaram Maharaj is giving, is very, very important. Pure devotion is free of coverings. Let's see. The remaining secondary characteristics of pure devotion is its freedom from coverings of speculative and fruitive pursuits. That is Jnana Karmadhanavratam. As mentioned earlier, Anyabhilashita Shunyam refers to the pure desire to please Krishna, free from the covering influence of speculative knowledge and fruitive work. Jnana Karmadhanavratam, in addition to being pure in attitude, devotees serious to advance in Krishna consciousness must be free from the influence of karma, jnana, and other non-devotional practices in their everyday life. Fruitive activities, karma, and cultivation of knowledge, jnana, are inevitable consequences of living in materialistic society. Pure devotees are not exceptions to this rule. However, some kind of work and knowledge are harmful to pure devotion and some are not. When devotees indulge in things that are harmful, their mood of pure devotion is effectively covered, avratam, and covered pure devotion is semblance of devotion. This phenomenon occurs when devotees again take up activities of karma and jnana, either by bad association or by neglecting their spiritual practices. Most of these instructions are coming for those who are actively working outside and trying to cultivate pure devotion. So they should pay rapt attention and what the instructions of our Goswamis and Shivaram Maharaj is writing it down for our benefit. So please listen very carefully. This is the most practical aspect of analytical study of Jnana Karmadhanavratam. Fruitive activities, karma, and cultivation of knowledge, jnana, are inevitable consequences of living in a materialistic society. Pure devotees are not exceptions to this rule. They will also face those who are desiring, means all of you. However, some kind of work and knowledge are harmful to pure devotion and some are not. I was working a harmful work while after I got initiated, then Krishna gave the insight. I gave up the whole work. I retired in 1979. I hardly worked for 8 years, and that was not enough to gain me minimum, social security at this. But somehow or another, I finished after, but not working, but working for Bharatiya Seva Incorporation. And Krishna took care of that problem. But the risk is there. So, we have to find out when devotees indulge in things that are harmful, their mood of pure devotion is effectively covered, avratam, and covered pure devotion is a semblance of devotion. This phenomenon occurs when devotees again take up activities of karma and jnana, either by bad association or by neglecting their spiritual practices. Of course, nobody can impose, but the reciprocal, advancement in pure devotion will be curtailed. You are taking a big gambling there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur likens the appearance of pure devotion to the birth of a baby girl. He is talking in Bhakti Tattva Vivek, chapter number 1, page number 11. Just as the parents of a delicate newborn must protect her from the sun, cold, and wild animals, so devotees must be careful to protect their newborn devotion from the undeniable influences of speculative knowledge, fruitive endeavors, and the allurement of the mystic perfections. If parents fail to shelter their infant, she will not grow to the healthy adulthood. Similarly, if affectionate devotees are careful spiritual practices do not shelter pure devotion, it will degrade into unwanted ideas and habits. Nursed to the stage of steadiness, nishtha, pure devotion is relatively safe from affinity for the mundane. So are all types of knowledge detrimental to devotional service? The living entity must avoid at all costs the knowledge that leads them to an impersonal conception of absolute truth. Some philosophers argue that the knowledge of liberation is a precursor to devotional service. But Vaishnava acharyas and scriptures reject this idea because the Shastra rejects. As mentioned earlier, devotees need to cultivate knowledge of their constitutional position as living entities in relation to Krishna and his energies. This cultivation is one of the limbs of pure devotional service. One finds this knowledge taught in scriptures and awakening by one's practice of pure devotional service. Understanding one's relationship with Krishna is helpful to one's spiritual development. One should not worry that gathering such knowledge is materially motivated and urged to gather. It is born of the desire to know Krishna and thus serves as an impetus to practice bhakti. So, this knowledge and expertise in the work, but it is not conducive to make our devotion progressive, then they are impediments. They have to be, given a time leash and get rid of them in due course of time, so you will not be perturbed. That is called the retirement from active service for maintaining the household, etc. Panchashat vanam gachet. because there will be detachment from the fruitive activities, no more desires of fruitive, and you will be given freedom to act the tenets of pure devotional service without those impediments of attachments. Money, even wife, even properties, there are so many attachments are there. So this is Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Oh, I have one Abhilasha, let me finish and then I will surrender to Krishna. It's like bargaining few more years to live to finish your job. That is not good. Srimad Bhagavatam calls such knowledge causeless, ahetuki. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayitya Janayatyasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chad Ahetukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 7th verse. The Kathakars, they say, oh, Bhakti Devi has two children. One is Gyan and another is Vairagya. But what it means, they are not prerequisites to bhakti. They come as a byproduct. These are not the main products, jnana and karma. So if misused, however, even transcendental knowledge can become obstacle to devotion. For one example of such misuse occurs when devotees neglect service in favor of culturing knowledge. Study of devotional scriptures, Bhakti Shastras, is pure devotion. But if by such study a devotee neglects the conclusion of the knowledge that one should serve Krishna according to Krishna's desire, then the cultivation creates another kind of covering. To avoid this, devotees must receive guidance from the higher authorities. This is where many of the devotees, they want to become professional kathakars. And gain profit, adoration, and distinction. It is not pure devotion. It is avrutam with jnana and karma. The style, popularizing this and that. So it is a semblance of devotion rather than pure devotion. So a person may be very well expert in speaking and impressing. It is wanted, but the byproducts are not jnana and karma. The byproducts are profit, adoration, and distinction. Right? So such practice is not called pure devotion. It is a semblance. All right? Another example of misuse of transcendental knowledge is when it gives rise to pride of scholarship. Sometimes devotees think that their advanced knowledge makes them superior to other Vaishnavas. Arrogant and careless of others' feelings, they bicker over the fine points of philosophy and put others down. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami denounces such conduct, which is far from the humble attitude in the ways of great Vaishnava scholars and such as Srila Prabhupada. Oh my God, we have encountered such, in communication, a Prabhupada disciple group in Pamho. They created Prabhupada disciple, and Prabhupada disciples are squibbling and trying to show their mastery in the scriptural guidance and this and that. Even though their motives are pure, but they don't like somebody counteracts, their idea and their realization. So it went on becoming on personal attacks instead of, enlivening each other. So ultimately, who knows whether the GBC closed it down but it fell apart. Such conference fell apart. So we can understand that scholastic aptitude which can devote. There is also another example. I know when he was 16 or 17 year old, I visited him in Los Angeles, and his parents told, because I was from Vrindavan, and says, Maharaj, my son wants to study Sanskrit in Vrindavan under tutelage of Haridas. Haridas was a well-known scholar, but yet he is not from Krishna consciousness movement. So he went and became expert in grammar and interpreting and this and that. And this young boy came, he took initiation, and his father also got opportunity to become president of, one temple in North India. And it so happened that he saw this particular Prabhupada's, disciples conference, and he thought, because he learned the mastery, and he started interpreting and putting his own thing, and he was interjecting, and devotees were completely shocked. This little boy, he is not even Prabhupada disciple, and he's trying to strangle our communication. So he was completely denounced and rejected, and then his father also got heart attack, and he got rejected. Oh, my devotional service is going to be curtailed in this and that. So ultimately they left the movement. They started their own shop somewhere in Gujarat. Sorry, Gujaratis are, not that clever, but highly egoistic, religionist. So watch out. I'm also a Gujarati. Watch me. If I do like that, then you can have authority to chastise me too. So anyway, the idea is the scholastic aptitude can be diverting our mood and mission of pure devotion. So similarly, that affects the kathakars also. And Prabhupada said, we are not professional kathakar. No. One should not make business out of performance of katha. It is not pure devotion. It's a semblance of devotion. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami denounces such conduct, which is far from the humble attitude and ways of great Vaishnava scholars such as Srila Prabhupada. If one becomes a bookworm, reading many books and scriptures and hearing many commentaries and instructions of many men, this will produce doubt within his heart. One cannot in this way ascertain the real goal of life. This is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 16th chapter, 11th verse. So living in greater society also makes participation in social functions and religious rituals inevitable. Such fruitive activities performed in small measures and in the mood of detached service do not cover one's pure devotion. However, devotees who purposefully indulge in such things and place faith in them muddy and pristine waters of Uttam Bhakti. So the preachers, when they indulge with high echelon of the society and become enamored by their response we may think it is positive, but we have to remain only humble in all our attitudes, including presentation of the philosophy also. And we can be bold only on the strength of the Shastra. But by behavior, we should be humble and meek. Giving ample quotations of the Shastra, you may be able to impress, but you are aloof from that gain. Rather, you have to act in such a friendly way that he will not take the counter as an offense. This is the art of preaching. We are here to cultivate friends and devotees ultimately. So even though they may argue against you, you should not become agitated. And therefore, a single person should not go on preaching. Always take somebody along with you. That in any case, accidentally or inadvertently, as a organized, what you call countenance, organized countenance, we will remain safe from it. We will not be able to be, convince them. That's okay, but we should not fall victim of their treacherous activity. So,
We should stop soon.
okay. I would like to stop here because this is very important for our approach to the public and maintaining pure devotion. So anybody has any question or comments, please make it quick because we have to go for Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja offering to the temple. Akhanda Day, Haribal.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Guru Maharaj, when we do these Shastric courses, what should be our mood in doing these courses? Because one, of course, you'll gain the knowledge of the Shastras, but at the same time, we have to be careful what we just read. So
I think the knowledge is there, but when it is given through some tutorship, we will be gaining his realization also. So we have to cultivate the mood of accepting this authorized learning, Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, like that, in the mood of gaining the realization, and that will be an impetus to because most of us, know the story or the background behind such learning on Srimad Bhagavatam and everything, but how it is being presented to impress our what you call furtherance of pure devotional service. That should be the aim. You got it?
yes. So Guru Maharaj, the realizations of the speaker or the tutor who we are learning from, so we should to ascertain or learn those realizations, or because the realizations are already
No,
there.
but they may be. He also received from somebody.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
So let it spread. It will be helpful.
Right.
But I'm a sannyasi and I have to take the realization of somebody. No. Anybody who is speaking the absolute truth without a guile and from his heart can be impressive. If such things are impressive, even in the public sector of politics,
Right.
how do we understand? For spiritual practices, it will be very impressive because you are dealing with the absolute truth.
Yes.
while the politicians become impressive, but they are dealing with relative truths. They may be religious themselves. Like S. Jaishankar, the foreign secretary.
Yeah.
He's a mastermind.
Yeah.
The whole world is talking about him.
Yeah, that's right.
And in the field, Ajit Doval is all everybody is afraid of.
Yeah.
So these are the worldly examples, but they deal with the worldly matters. We deal with the spiritual matters, and the devotees are supposed to be, also giving a particular sentence in their own realized way, so that may be beneficial. If it's completely off the track, then we may not appreciate. So a reference to context is always required. He must have taken from either Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, which we were not exposed. It is from. So quotations are very important.
Right.
See, ample quotations of this
Yeah.
books, by Shivaram Maharaj, and he's not going out of the way to find out something extraordinary from deep down somewhere in the Vedas. No. Following in the footsteps of our predecessor Acharya is this methodology. You will be safe. Okay?
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Haribol.
Suhridam Prabhu.
Suridam sarvabhutanam gyatvam shantim richyate.
Hare Krishna Gurudev, Danvat Pranams Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances and your lotus feet.
How can
Gurudev, today's class is wonderful because it is giving the side effects of our activities towards our devotion, and we should be very careful. And sometimes we may not prevent those side effects, particularly in preaching or even in book writing. Also, I counter this. Sometimes I feel that am I getting the sidetrack of main activity, and so on and so forth, Gurudev. So we have to be careful. That is what I understand.
Definitely. Verifiability is there. Was I
Yeah.
bluffing? Was I bluffing?
Mm.
There should be also an inner question, inner check and balance
Yeah.
would be there.
Yeah. So very good, Gurudev. Thank you very much, Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Jagat Anbaya had her hand up, but she's put it down.
Hello, Haribol.
Hare Krishna and Dandavat Pranam Guru Maharaj.
Bolo.
Jagatanya. Maharaj, you said that it is better that we preach in groups, but sometimes like the opportunity to take somebody, like when we stay in campuses and engineering colleges, then often like there is not many devotees available around us. And from the temple, sometimes we get the instruction that you should start one small center in your own area. But then we are also subjected to a lot of personal attacks, especially our children. So in that case, what should be our
We should always remain attached to the institution. A mother institution is there, and we should be friendly and developing such things rather than, on our own, we want to advance and take responsibilities. No, everything is risky. Those who are experienced because they have started from the scratch and they can be a better guide. Expansion is not a problem, but how are we going to expand and how are we going to be overseen by our seniors? That is a question. It is not an independent act. So we take the dependency from the administrative aspect to oversee us. They are welcome, but at the same time, we should not be curtailed of preaching. If you cannot do open in public, then you invite somebody in your house,
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
You got the idea?
Yes, yes.
Ah,
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Pandit is facing another point.
Hare
I-
Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Sorry, Guru Maharaj, one more question.
Yeah.
So you also mentioned today that we should try to, as possible, wrap up our material engagements and try to serve more boldly. So lot of time this happens, and when people try to wrap up their material engagement and they've been engaged for so long, there's a tendency to not properly move into the next phase. So how should one chalk out a proper plan? Should be under the guidance of the spiritual master, and
Age will be also a detecting factor at that time.
right, Guru.
Age will be a factor.
Okay.
We have to finish the household chores as a grahastha within 50 years of the age,
Yes, Guru.
and then retire. Otherwise, you will miss the opportunity of Krishna consciousness and its advancement towards pure devotional service. It is a risk business. Krishna has already devised a retirement age, and we do not take advantage of it.
Yeah. So the understanding, Guru Maharaj, is that just try to do as at that age or before or closer to, so that we can take advantage of the.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Do not become late.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
In sannyas committee, we have to take all these factors into accountability. Unless and until wife, even though separated, gives permission for a person to become sannyas, he will not get sannyas.
Right. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please glorify Srila Prabhupada wherever you are, in any form. Talk to somebody if you are not in the temple vicinity. Speak about Prabhupada if you are in temple vicinity.